What's up guys, Jeff from Sorta Healthy here. If you're a regular viewer of our content, you can probably already tell that I am not in my usual spot. Typically I shoot our videos up here in the seat. Today we're not gonna be up here though, and we're also not going to be in training room number 1, and we're also not going to be in training room number 2. Both of those 2 rooms have squat racks, cable machines, dumbbells, battle ropes, suspension trainers, and a bunch of other gizmos and gadgets that enable us to help clients get to their goals regardless of what those goals are. In today's video, we're going to be coming all the way back over here, and back here we have training room number 3. You see, we've always had some issues with training room number 3. In the beginning, we only used this room for massage therapy and assisted stretching. But as we've signed on more and more training clients, we've expanded the room and added some equipment like this cable machine, for instance. Overall, it's become a useful third personal training room. It's pretty common for us to have all 3 of these personal training rooms running at the same time. The problem is that it's a little bit annoying to train clients in this back room, and as we continue to get busier, we end up using this space more and more often for sessions. So what I'll be doing today is making some changes to this third training room to make it a better space for myself and the other trainers of this facility to train clients. I think this video could be useful to a lot of you because yes, you watching this video right now, there's no reason why you couldn't have a training space like this, whether you're renting commercial space in town, or maybe you just want to use a room in your house to train clients. So hopefully I can give you guys some good ideas for setting your own space up. To help with that, later in this video, I'll give a detailed account of all the equipment in this room and the cost associated with each item. Oh yeah, and we'll talk about burnout a bit in this video too, because that is something that I talked about a fair amount in my last vlog style video as well. Before we get into all that, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, because both of those things do help the channel to grow, and that does allow me to keep making free content for all of you. That's hot. Thank you for that continued support, everyone. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so again, this is what this room looks like right now. It's small, but I actually do think it looks pretty decent. In the last few months, we've probably done about 30 to 40 sessions back here, and for the most part, things have worked fine. I mean, how much equipment do you really need for most clients? The answer, in case you were wondering, is very little. You also don't need much space for one-on-one sessions, which is all that we do back here. That said, I'm not okay with things only being fine. I want this training room to be just as good as the 2 outside training rooms. So there are a few things that I want to target back here specifically. One thing I don't like is this turf right here. When you're doing certain exercises, it moves, it gets bunched up, it's just not that good. Another problem that I have with this back room is this flooring right here. The problem is that I don't want clients to deadlift on it because that would likely damage it. We're big on deadlifts in this studio, and space-wise, there are no issues with hex bar deadlifts back here. Also, this back corner over here just looks weird. There's got to be a better layout for that. So as you can maybe tell or not tell right here, I bought a big old thing of rubber flooring because that's what you solve all problems in a gym setting with. That weirdly colored, speckled, and kind of smelly rubber flooring. So I just removed that kind of janky turf piece that was back here, and now it's time to bring that rubber flooring in. Good thing Alexa showed up. This thing is heavy as hell. Glad I did not have to move it alone. See, the nice thing about doing these projects on a Sunday is that there's no sessions going on, and I get to hang out with these little dudes all day. Come here, buddy. There's a good boy. Say hi to the camera, Major. So I probably didn't buy quite enough rubber flooring, which is kind of a rookie move. I feel like you pretty much always need more of this stuff than you think. So after cutting that rubber flooring, we now have a strip that goes across the entire length of the floor, which is nice because we'll be able to do a whole bunch of exercises using that. Exercises like lateral band walks and walking lunges are mainstays in our sessions here, so being able to easily program both of those things in this third room is going to be helpful. Of course, deadlifting should also be no issue back here as well if we're careful. This rubber flooring is pretty heavy duty. Honestly, one of the main takeaways from today's video should be that if you plan on starting up a fitness facility, be it in your house, be it anywhere, just go straight to rubber flooring like this stuff right here. It's pretty cheap, which I'm gonna share that price with you in a second, and super convenient in pretty much every way. So pretty soon I might put a TRX back here, and I kinda do wish I had a little bit more rubber flooring to cover this part of the room, but overall I think things came out pretty good. Even though not a ton has changed, things feel way more open back here, and that's definitely a good thing. I'd say our minor renovations are completed for today, and training back here should be easier going forward. So now let's talk equipment cost. In this room we have a stack of dumbbells that we got on sale at Costco for under $300. Unfortunately, it's going for $549 right now on the Inspire site, so you might want to wait for it to go back on sale. It has 5 to 30-pound dumbbell pairs. The rubber flooring that I installed here cost me $250 including shipping. The turf layer that used to take up more space back here before I cut it and glued it down to the rubber was only $20 at Home Depot. The M1 cable machine from Inspire is about $2,000. You certainly don't need one of these guys, but they're incredibly versatile. When it comes to working with our typical personal training client, we probably get more use out of our functional trainers than we do our squat racks. As of right now, we have no plans to add a squat rack to this back room. We have these crossover bands attached to this cable machine. They are a separate item though. The clients like them, and you can do some pretty cool moves with them. We also have a stability ball, a Bosu ball, a battle rope, which you can actually just buy on Amazon. We also have some other random gizmos and gadgets on these shelves, and everything on there costs an additional $200 give or take. These shelves are from IKEA, by the way, and they're pretty cheap, and they are bolted to the wall. So based on all of those prices, I'd say plan to spend around $1,000 to $2,000 on equipment if you're looking to do things cheap. This is most likely how you should start out. If you're looking to buy higher end equipment like functional trainers, squat racks, barbells, etc., you'll be spending considerably more, maybe twice as much. Like I said before, it's better to start with that cheap stuff and add more equipment as you go forward. It feels good to have that back room in a better place and to be back in my usual spot. So recently I talked about burnout. To be honest, I have been pretty burned out lately. I've been doing a crazy amount of training for a long time. A few years ago, I never thought having too many clients and too much work could be a problem, but here we are. I'm feeling pretty positive about the future though, and definitely a little less burned out. I've been able to hire and train a few new trainers, and now we have what I feel is a really solid team. Up until recently, I was at a point where I was doing 5 split shifts a week. That of course wasn't sustainable long term. Now I'm doing 2 to 3 split shifts a week, which still isn't perfect, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. At this point in my career, I only want to be doing training part-time. These days I enjoy making content as much or more than training, so I'd really rather split my time evenly between those two things if possible. Hopefully in the next few months I can get my schedule to the point where I'm doing 25 hours a week of training and 25 hours a week of content creation. I'm almost there, and I'm definitely feeling less burned out. I don't know about you guys, but working a good amount of hours doesn't necessarily burn me out. Not having the time to focus on things I'm passionate about does though. So hopefully all of you found today's video interesting. It was a little more scattered than most of our content, but hey, that's just the way it goes sometimes. If you haven't done so already, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, because both of those things help the channel to grow, and that does allow me to create more free content for all of you. Thanks for watching everyone, and until next time, stay sorta healthy.